Hey, Matt 143. Ooh. Today I thought we would look at doing some problem solving techniques, and I was going to have you guys look over my shoulder. I think that it's important to watch the problem solving techniques and the advice from that first video, and you can see how I'm actually paying attention to that advice. And so hopefully you'll get you can see what's going on. But the first rule of doing problem solving is to write down the problem. Okay, and here it was a long problem. Okay, and I've condensed it down. Okay, into this chart, which was given in the book. Okay, and the problem is all about a polygraph and whether or not people lied, and how many percentage of the people lied, and etc., etc. Now, I want to actually work through it, but one of the first things that you're supposed to do is read the problem. And so this one, it was a lot of reading because it started off with a paragraph that didn't really matter where the study was done, and then it gave that chart, which is, which ones lied, how many did lie, and all this stuff, and you got to be able to make sense of that. And then finally it gets to parts A and B. Okay, and so you have to read the problem and familiarize with yourself with the problem. And I think that the first thing is to read the problem and then write down your numbers. Now you can see that I did that with my numbers. I wrote down this chart. Okay, and then over here you can actually see the notes that I've got for given this video. Video stopped. But the point is that I've got my notes ready, and here I go. Okay, now the first thing that you might help you is to know about make a decision. This one, the person actually lied. Did they lie? No. These people told the truth. Okay, and that helps to know that. Okay, because it goes on to ask you how many people actually lied. Well, if you look at it, the polygraph said that 15 plus 42 actually lied. Okay, so you write those numbers down, and you of course notice that's 57. Now that's the first thing in my notes. Okay, and you can see that my notes, I'm actually doing exactly what I'm pretty much writing down here for you. Okay, but that's how I came up with 57. Now we go through and be like, which one, how many of those actually lied? And you can see why it might have been a good idea for me just to go ahead and say these people told the truth, because out of those that lied, they actually lied. And I don't want to call this lied because I've already named something lied. You see what I'm talking about there? But at any rate, 42. And then it goes and asks you a percent truth. How many? But they thought you lied. Holy moly. Now this is a lot of stuff to work out in your mind, but in the end, it comes down to, okay, well, 15 out of those actually told the truth, and well, there was a total of 57. Now, this isn't a percentage, but it will turn into one, and you know that this is going to be something like, I don't know, a third or a fourth, isn't it? It's about 20% at any rate. Now here, I turned 0.2 into 20%, And of course, I did this in my head, but of course, you have a calculator. I do too. And you can always go 15 divided by 57 and get the number. It was 26, and this is actually 26%, isn't it? At any rate, once you've written it all out, doing it on a calculator is no problem. Now, here, interestingly enough, you can see what I have for notes. On the second half, you got to read it just as careful, okay? But on the second half, you know that they tested for the truth, okay? And that's when I just said, okay, well, 32 plus 9, well, that equals 41, okay, just like what we did before, okay, but the actually telling the truth, okay, well, that's 32. And then you do your percent, and that's 32 over 41, okay, and then you finish the problem, okay. The point is, of course, that you take your time and you read the question carefully. You write down the numbers, okay, and then it might help to make sense of the numbers in your own way. You saw how I was like, well, let me just cut through the chase and say which ones told the truth. Well, each problem might be different, so you may have to do your own thing on each problem, but you could see how I was taking good notes along the way, and that was really important, wasn't it? Now, of course, the last thing is, in the end, do your numbers make sense? And since some of the people were clearly caught, or they thought they were telling the truth, but they were not telling the truth, clearly there should be some percentage that were telling the truth, but not actually telling the truth. At any rate, so I hope this helps you understand problem solving. And like I say, the most important thing, it starts off with read the problem thoroughly, and then the second thing is to write down anytime they have numbers in the problem, you write it down, and you write it down in your own way, giving names for it. And then last but not least, you take good notes along the way, assigning each variable or whatever needs to be named, whatever it needs to be named. You take the time to name it as you go along, and eventually you'll end up at the correct answer. It's just a matter of time and patience. All right, thanks.